We're back with more action planners, and the action is very early because these are all planners that are for the new school year, so they start in July-ish, or some of them in August, I imagine. Either way, as per usual, whenever I see a new load of planners at action, I like to grab one of each type, not each color, because then the screen would be overfull because there are so many different color options of most of these, like at least 3 per type. And I really already have a huge stack of planners that I'm never ever going to use, so I probably don't want another threefold, I guess you would call that, of all this stuff over here. But before I go into it, I'm going to do something that I don't think I did any of the previous times, and that is show the prices. Now, the top one you get to ignore because that's just me being thirsty, buying a couple of Capri Suns. Either way, as you can see, the most expensive planner is $380 over here, this BTS School Agenda Spiral. I'm guessing that would be you, but I'm not sure. It could also be you. They don't really say specifically which one it is. And then we have, let's see, the regular BTS planner Paradise. That might be you. And then we have another one over here, BTS Paradise Regular School Agenda Lux Spiral. Oh, is this another? There's a couple of spiral ones. The spiral ones are the most expensive, apparently. Everything else is kind of like between $1 and $2. This one's only 99 cents. I'm guessing that's you. Yeah, the smallest one. All right. Well, so as you can see, the most expensive one is almost $380 for a planner that lasts you an entire year. Not a bad price. Now, these are, of course, not amazing, like, brand name planners, but they will do the job if you're looking for a affordable planner for your school year, or if you're like me and you like to just occasionally restart everything and you don't feel like waiting until like September before the new releases for next year come out, then a mid-year planner can be fun. As far as I know, all of these are dated, so there are no undated planners here, unless I like completely overlooked it. But let's just go from this side to that side and see what we've got. So first I'm going to stack everything up over here so I have a little bit of space to do things. There's always that. Alright, this is a little glitter planner with its little, not really elastic. It looks elastic, but it's not. A thing to mark your place. Basically has 2627 on the outside. It's got a little plastic cover which does come off, so if you don't like the plastic cover you can just take that off. And let's take a look on the inside. Color options, well, they range from usually bluish green to pinkish something. That's the standard color that you get most places. Nothing super shocking there. This page is kind of connected to the other one, as you will often see with these first pages. But here you get the chance to write down some personal details about yourself. If you wanted to dox yourself by losing your planner, you could do that here. And I think the most important thing here is mostly this over here, like the who do you call in case somebody is found laying on the side of the road somewhere. Then maybe that would be handy to fill out. Other than that, don't really want to put too much personal stuff in here myself personally, so I'm not going to do that myself, but okay, that's an option. Now we have translations, a couple of different languages here. Let's see, that's English, German, Czech, Spanish, French, and Hungarian. And then we have Italian, Dutch, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, and SK. What's SK? It's not really coming to mind, but there are translations in here for a couple of different words that might be useful, particularly if you're going to school somewhere foreign. It has a bunch of stuff like grade list is in here, and classroom, that type of stuff. Planner as well, school holidays, all those different words can be translated through this little table here. Now, a couple of notes pages. I think just 2, yep, because we have the actual years coming up over here. Year calendar for 2026, 2027 as well, both in one overview. Now, by the time that you get this one, half of the year will already be gone over here on this side, so I'm not sure why you would still need to see that. Maybe to check what type of day the 13th of January was, which in this case was a Tuesday. I don't know, in case you wanted to know. Here we go. We have some month planners here, starting from August, when your school year is about to start. Most of them start around September, so maybe you want to like write down a couple of things you want to do before the school starts if you are going to school. If not, you can just start writing whatever you want. Here we go. March 2027, July. Oops. And then we are done. That's it. It just goes to July, from August to July. All right. Great. Then we have, this is a timetable, Monday through Friday. So no Sunday school for you. Small note section over here in the bottom. You have a little bit of space for time, class, teacher, and classroom. You better hope that there aren't any teachers with long names because you don't have a lot of space for them at all. And a class name as well, but you could abbreviate that. Abbreviating somebody's name is a little bit difficult sometimes. And another timetable in case you have different types of timetables throughout the year. That happens sometimes. Grade list in case you wanted to do that. And if you're not going to school, you could also maybe use this as like a habit tracker. You can totally see that being an option here. And that goes on for some time. So that's a good thing, I guess, about school agendas and planners. You have like these types of lists that a lot of planners tend to only really give you one page for. And this is a small agenda, so you don't even have a whole lot of space. But even in this small agenda, you have 4 pages basically for a habit tracker. Pretty cool. Then we get the actual week themselves. We can see here all of the days in horizontal. Pretty handy for writing longer lines, etc. You have the week highlighted over here in a month calendar with a colored line. That's useful. Saturday and Sunday do not get a lot of space. They always get ignored, but of course this is mostly focused on people going to school and they don't expect people to do much on Saturday and Sunday, so there is that. But if you were somebody who wanted to like really plan all their homework projects on the weekend, then this wouldn't be a lot of space either. So I guess you would need to figure out something else in order to put that in your agenda somehow. Maybe if you like had some homework from a class on Thursday, you can like put SA behind it as in Saturday, that's when I'm going to do this part, or SUU for Sunday if you have more time for then. Right, but it goes all the way through the end of July, and then we have the 1st of August here. That's it. And then we have the addresses, people's names, address, phone, and @ so you can put their websites, their link trees, their emails, whatever it is that you got. And then we have another birthday list. Oh, not another month calendar. It's a birthday list. All right, so this should be for the entire year. And all the way to, there you go, December. And then we have here emails list and websites, www.something.com. If you wanted to keep track of certain websites that are super important, you can do that here. Same with emails, like your info@thisschool.com could go here because that's not really a contact. And one final note page, and then we're already at the back. There is no pockets, but you could use this as a pocket, this little plastic section here. That's an option. I guess you could put a few things in there, but that is this one. All right, moving on to this one. Again, a lot of different color options and also different options for this little thing that comes on the elastic. It is a spiral bound notebook. This is plastic front and back. It looks as though this is removable. Yeah, you could take this out and put something else in here if you wanted. Well, you know, you can also just kind of use the other side. You could, this is white on the other side, so you could draw your own thing and then just like flip it if you like that better. Anyway, let's take a look what we've got in here. This is a plasticky page. I think it is, yeah. Cover. We start off with some stickers. Disco time, a weekend, nice. A lot of like retro style stickers here. Just one sheet though, so as I've said many times with other planners, they only really give you one sheet, so you got to use them sparingly. And for the rest of the year, you'll have to figure out what type of stickers you can use instead, because you won't have any more repeats unless you buy like a whole bunch of these for extra sticker sheets, but that makes the sticker sheets about $3 each, which is kind of expensive, so don't do that. Anyway, so it starts off with the title page with just the years on it, a personal section over here, what school you go to in case of emergency, and the borders are nice. I do like how each page has its own border. And then we have translations again, and what looks to be the same languages that we had before as well, and a bunch of translations like this. I don't know if I really like that. Oh, Slovakia. That was Slovakian, the other language. Okay. All right. So you can also have some Slovakian translations if you wanted or needed. Notes pages 1, 2. That's it. Holidays. I don't think this one had the holidays in it, so that's different or new. And that's holidays for all of these different countries as well. If you ever want to know what holidays Croatia has, there you go. You will have to translate them first, though, because it's all in Croatian, or I think it's Cyrillic. I don't really know what it's called. Not standard letters that I use anyway, so I can't really read that. The one thing I noticed immediately now with this thing is that if you just put it like this, the booklet gets propped up by that little addition over here, so you do have to like put it aside, or I don't know, put it somewhere else, take it off. It does not come off without, I guess, wrecking it somehow. Something to consider if you want to get this one, that this thing might become annoying. Anyway, we have the 2 years in overview, all of the months, all of the numbers, week numbers as well. And what it does here that I haven't seen in too many other planners is that it doesn't just go MTWF, blah, blah, blah. It also does the translations underneath if you had like different names for different dates. Or days of the week, I should say. So that's interesting. That's a new thing I hadn't seen before. More notes pages. Okay, we had notes pages earlier, but now we have extras. So that's already 4 notes pages here. Again, the thing is underneath. Month planner for starting from August all the way through, I'm guessing, July of 2027. Yep. Decent amount of space here again. Timetable. Yep, again, teacher gets a little bit more space this time. It's in a slightly different order, though. It's like the time gets a tiny little slot, and then you get subject, classroom, teacher, and instead of subject, teacher, classroom, like with that one. That's okay. And then we have a couple extra lines down here for whichever you want to use it for. I don't know if the timetable changes, or if you want to say like, oh, make sure to prepare 5 minutes ahead of time before leaving class X because class Y is on the other side of the building. You could maybe put that there. Something like that, or bring your key card or whatever it is that your school does. Let's see, grade list. This one is not from top to bottom. You have 2 different sections on each page per subject in case you have like a lot of different tests for each subject. You could put them all in here. And good, more notes pages. That's 6 note pages so far. And then we have July, August. I'm guessing they put that here because you probably won't be in school yet, but in case you are, it's a bit weird that this one just goes over here, and then there's immediately a pocket and a divider. It's a bit of a strange choice that they made here, and another pocket. Okay, so a lot of pocket space here. You have a clear plastic pocket, put stuff in, and then you have a divider that doesn't really do much, and then we have, oh, this one actually can be moved, see? Oh, that would be handy in case you want to put it somewhere else. It's kind of curled because they, I guess, got a little hot. It's been pretty hot around here, so it warped a little bit. This one cannot be moved. We do have a nice pocket space here, though, for other things. And then we go on to the next thing. Let's have a week that's like full across the page. There we go. We have the same horizontal space for our notes. There are some very thin lines here, though. You have to have a fairly small handwriting unless you want to like take several rows per note, whatever it is you want to write. Saturday, Sunday get a little bit of space, not too much. The week is not indicated here like it was with the previous one, so that is interesting. But you do get to see the week numbers, so you could take a look at this, go week number 32. I guess it's over here. All right, this is what our days look like on the month calendar. All right, so you have that. Let's go on to the next thing here. I'm guessing this is just going to be a repeat. Here you go, another one of these plastic pockets. That's pocket number 3 and 4. And then we go on to the next thing. 5. This one's very groovy. And 6. Yep. And I see we also have a zip pocket in the back. Oh wait, not too fast. Goes into, where's it end? Ends on the 18th of July. Alright, so if you have anything else past the 18th, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. We have addresses instead. So we have some addresses here put some addresses in here. Birthdays, of course, across the year. Then we have websites, email, like we had with the last one. More notes. So a lot of note space in this one. That's pretty good. And a little bit of note space here combined with a whole disclaimer about what this diary is and isn't for, what you should and shouldn't do with it. Divider. Oh, we also have a ruler, but also this zip pockets, which can be handy for little things that you can't lose, like your card, for instance, if you do have a card in school. And this guy comes off, I imagine. Now, the same thing happened with this thing that happened with the other ones. It's like warped because of the heat. It's also very flimsy, so do not expect to make super straight lines unless you're really pushing down to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. But it is an option, and if you happen to not have a ruler on you, but you do have this one, I guess you could potentially use that. It does have actual like centimeters on here. And if you use inches, that's unfortunately not going to be very helpful to you, but it is there for the people who use centimeters. They can definitely measure up to 18 if they wanted. So that is the second one. There is no like divider like we had with the other one. This one just has this thing. I guess you could kind of use this as a divider. And of course, the ruler measuring thing, whatever, kind of acts as a place marker as well. So you could totally use that. We didn't actually look at the divider over here. Here it is. Yeah, just kind of glued into the back. Not stretchy at all. And it is wavy. And it feels like it's kind of been sewn together. It's a little bit thick. Definitely sturdy. A lot sturdier than those really cheap ones that you tend to see, like the Rimini ones. Those are usually not great. Something else I noticed that they have this year, I think they may have also had them last year, but I didn't pick them up, is a more muted version of a planner, simple planner, maybe for the teachers or for people who don't want all this pink frilly stuff. Those exist. So this one is in dark green. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. It may look very dark black, but it is green. And it is very serious. You can also kind of see here with the ribbon that's attached to the middle that it's supposed to be green. So here we go. Let's go through here as well. Again, the personal information page, scan for translations plus holidays. Oh, so you don't even really need to, if you want to scan it, here you go. You can go get some translations plus holidays. And I guess they didn't put it in here instead because they just use a QR code. That's interesting. We didn't see that with the other ones, and nor did we see a to-do checklist with the other one. There's a lot of to-dos here. And a little bit of note space and the shape of bullet journal type pages, dotted pages. Oh, quite a few of them, actually 4 pages. Then we have the calendar for 27 and 26 as well. More note pages. Month planner. This one's a little bit different in the setup. Let's see. The other ones were a bit plainer. Yeah, they have them like this, and over here you have more of a table setup. Okay, well, I guess that works as well, and it doesn't make a huge difference. More note pages, timetables. There we go. Monday, class, teacher, classroom. Okay, so you are definitely still a student if you buy this one. And another timetable, a little bit of note space down here as well. More note space. You could maybe do your entire year in this book with the amount of note space. Grade lists. This one's just one long list like we saw with the first one. This one as well. To-do checklist again. That's 4 pages of to-do checklists. More notes. And then we have the full week. Alright, so we have more horizontal stuff. It's fairly the same as the small one, except that the indicator of the week is in gray. So that's something that's a little bit different. Good amount of space, gotta say, so that's great. I'm guessing it's just gonna be the same until we get till the end. November notes. Oh, occasionally there's some note pages in between. Alright, there we go. A lot of note pages. Like I said, plenty of notes pages, even throughout the year. Alright, that can be handy. I mean, it can be handy to have extra note pages, but also these are in between all these different months. So it's a little bit annoying if you were looking for a specific note and you didn't like mark it somehow, that you have to go between all these different months to try and figure out where you put that note, because if you have it all in the back or all in the front, at least you can only really look in so many pages in so many places. So, but it looks as though every month has at least a couple of notes pages. There we go. In between each month you get 2 note pages. All right, great. This is March. We're in April, May. May again. June, July. And we have a little bit. That's July right there. August 1st. And to-do checklist, third ones. More notes pages. And more notes pages plus a disclaimer. And that is it. No pocket. So this is definitely a more serious agenda for the serious person. Do we get more check boxes throughout the year? A little difficult to see. Again, you would have to go looking for them, which is a little bit annoying. It does look as though we only really get check boxes at the start and at the end. So, okay, those are at least easy to find. And of course, there are plenty of things you can do to like mark certain pages to say, oh, this is where I keep these notes, this is where I keep those notes. But at least you have options if you don't like all the super colorful and flowery or whatever motifs and you just want a plain agenda. The Action has you covered there as well. All right. Moving on to the first, no, the second, sorry, spiral bound one. This one looks fancier than the others. And this one does not have anything on the bandage over here, on the rubber band, I mean. But it does have a faux leather cover thing with a plastic end over there to attach it to the spiral. Then we have these dividers. Personals, again, they do not give translations or holidays in this one because we have a QR code. Calendar, 2026-2027, nothing special there. Notes, again, month planner. This one gives a similar vibe, but then a long table right there. More space than the other one, so that's good. Notes pages, more timetables. Timetables, lots of timetables. Great lists. And again, one long list. Oh, this one has a color detail. And it looks like it is 1 day per page. So if you really like to write a lot or you have a lot to write every day in the ways of classes and things or homework or whatever it is that you like to write, you have more space with this one. But are the weekends included? Here you have Friday and you have a divider for, oh look, Saturday, Sunday on one page. Okay, a divider for the next month. Alright, so at least these two do give you more space than the other agendas so far have given Saturday, Sunday. They only really got a little bit of space there. So that is unfortunate. But other than that, it's, well, unfortunate that they don't have a lot of space here. But over here, they don't get a full page, but at least you got more space. This is more like a space for a full day that they got in the other planners. Anyway, moving on. So we have occasional dividers between the months. So far, no pockets there, I don't think. Nope, just dividers. Looks like that's just going to continue all the way till the end. It goes to June, July. We might get a little bit of August. Less likely because we only, oh, here we go. We have 1 day in August. And that's it, yeah. Usually they don't really do that with day per page. They can more easily take the excess days out. Usually you see a couple of days at the start of the month that they don't really want to include because they have empty space on the page otherwise, and that's why they do that. But now we have 1 day for August 1st, and then it is on to the addresses. Emails, birthdays. Oh, you don't even really get like a full year. You just have to write down what month and day it is over here. You get 1 page. They're like, you don't know more than these numbers of people, so you don't really need any more than that. Same with the email and the websites. They just kind of put that on 1 page as well. I guess they were running out of space. Little notes page here with another disclaimer. Divider. This one cannot be moved. So why it is over here, I don't know. I guess just the cover page. We have a slightly sturdier ruler here. Only goes to 16 centimeters. Again, centimeters, not inches. So that is, I guess, useful for some and not so much for others. But it can be used to divide everything, or at least mark your space. Then we have a pocket in the back that is gusseted. Ta-ta-ta-ta. And nothing inside. No sticker sheets with this one. This thing is at the end of the spiral. Alright. And the back does not do anything for me either. It just has this little palm tree thing. Kind of cute, but also I'm looking at it and like, usually coconuts do not hang like that, but apparently this one does. Maybe this isn't a coconut tree or it's just supposed to be cute. I don't know. Either way, that is this one. So more space for every day and a little bit more color work. Not so much pockets, but still cute. So we're gonna move on to the next one. This is a very interesting one because I hadn't seen them like this at the Action before. This is a spiral bound, but it has a cover on the outside of the spiral. Let's see what this is, the front and the back, nothing extra here. This is kind of stiff. You're gonna have to really work with that. Now it's gonna lie flat, that's fine. And then you have the agenda on the inside. You have a divider here, one sticker sheet, sorry. Don't forget it's weekend. Make today count. All right, very cool. Divider page for the year, personal details again, notes, more notes, calendar for the years, to-do checklist. Okay, that one hasn't come with the other one that we just had, the darker one. More note space, month planner, timetable, yeah, a little bit smaller than the other ones. All right, not so many. I only really get 2 of these, but the others had a little bit more space for timetables. At least I feel like we had more space. Great list, 4 pages for that. Looks as though notes, yep. And then we have the week. The week itself is indicated, but it is in gray. The pages themselves do have a colored border, so that is kind of cute. Saturday, Sunday, once again, relegated to the bottom with only a little bit of space. They are apparently not important enough. Again, thin lines, but they do have numbers on the left, so you could maybe say class 1, class 2, or block 1 or block 2, whatever it is that is going on in your life. You could maybe do that. If you happen to have something that's like divisible by 10, you could do that. And let's see, we have a plastic pockets here. We have a divider that cannot be moved. We have another pocket here. So it's similar to the other one, that one at the bottom there, but these do not move. These guys, or was it this one? Yeah, the divider's moved with the other one, but this one is just solid, so can't do much with that, but you do get extra pocket space. And then it just goes on, and this is a repeat of that same thing. Plastic pocket, divider, cardboard pocket. The same here. It's going to go all the way till the back. Let's see, this is July. Then we are almost at the end of July. Sunday the 1st, and then we are stuck on the other thing at the back. Okay, we get addresses. All right, addresses, birthdays. This one does give the months again. It's kind of weird how they're kind of wishy-washy about what they give you there. And then we have websites and emails, notes, one note page with disclaimer, divider, and zip pockets. I always have to do this first because this bottom part is always kind of stuck. All right, zip pockets plus ruler, kind of the same quality as the previous one. It's not super strong, but it's definitely thicker than the first one that we saw. And we have, I think this is, oh no, I thought it was a pocket, but it's actually just the inside, the outside, sorry, of the spiral notebook, or the spiral needed to be attached to something, I suppose, glued onto the outside of the actual folder. That's an interesting choice. Why didn't they just put that on the back here and give us an extra pocket? But okay, fine. They're not super expensive, so we can't really ask for too much. But that is this one. Interesting choices made here design-wise. Content-wise, very similar to the other ones. Then we have this one. There were a couple of different designs of this one. This one is very interesting, to say the least. It is a book. It is quite heavy. You could probably hurt somebody if you threw it at them. Let's not do that because I still want to look on the inside. Either way, It's cardboard, and we have this extra page here with the year and the coconut thing. Again, that does not make sense. Personal. So identity stuff here, more space to write long sentences here, and again translations, QR codes, notes. What are you going to write in this tiny little thing here? Wouldn't know, but they had a little bit of space, so they were like, okay, go ahead, notes. There you go. Very large notes pages here. That's the good thing about having a large planner. We have more space and we have more pages as well. Both of them are bullet journal style, is that right? Yes. Calendar 2627, nice and colorful, more notes pages, month planner. All right, this gives you every month separately with a little to-do section at the bottom. Very nice. I think I also saw other things in here that the others didn't have, so I'm curious to see exactly how much other things they had. But this was a little bit more set up for like personal development type of stuff, so we might see some interesting things in there in a moment. Notes pages here again. Timetable, very large. You can definitely get a teacher with a long name this time. To-do section. May as well have called it notes, because I don't know if this is the most logical shape of a to-do section, but they just wanted to give it some type of name. Same with this one. Then we have a grade list, subjects, grades, and a final, and notes at the bottom. See, they could have said notes. Same with this grade list. More notes. This may almost have more notes than the green one over there. Birthdays throughout. They are at the front this time. Oh, last time they were all in the back. Alright, birthdays up front this time, so you don't forget. More note space. Oh my god. Alright, so let's see. More note space. Wow. They do always have these little drawings in all these note sections. Kind of fun. These little graphics down there. Makes it a little more whimsical. Then we have a month habit tracker. See, this is more personal development, like I said. So you have this month, you can write your thoughts about the month, what you want to do, what goals you have, birthdays in this month, and I want to. I don't know if that's not goals, but okay. I guess they thought that was not a goal. I don't know. Fine, but they have a want to and a goal section, so you could do with that what you want. And over here we have a monthly habit tracker. You can do workout stuff, you can do sleep, I guess that's healthy food, drinking water, cleaning, perhaps, reading books, saving money, learning, writing, and music. They have a tiny, tiny little note section and a whole to-do at the bottom. Interesting choices, once again. And this is for July, August, and is that... Oh, okay, this is July, August, and then you have the things you could write down for every day of the week. I'm guessing this is also what all the weeks are going to look like. This kind of gives me the vibe of a month planner, the way it's set up. This is really for the weeks, I guess, isn't it? Or are we going to see something else later? So much... No, this is really the design for your week. Interesting that they give you a whole day. Starts at 6 a.m., goes to 11 p.m. We have like the 24-hour clock here, so 2300 is 11 p.m. right down there. If you were to have something to really write down about a certain class or something that happens at a certain time, you don't have a lot of space per hour. It's like 2 of these little sentence lines here, and part of that is already taken up by the time. So there isn't a lot of space here. There are some small note sections up here if you wanted. Maybe you could do that, use that for the excess things that don't fit here. Interesting choices so far again. But this is the vertical layout that was very popular, I think a couple of years ago, particularly when people were starting to get super interested in the Japanese planners that of course have vertical columns because people write vertically in Japan. But okay, we're seeing some of that here. Can be useful or fun. Oh, I didn't see that. Hang on, first of all we have more note space, I see. There you go. And then we have here a coloring page. So you could do a little bit of coloring here if you got bored, like during class. Maybe you can do a little bit of coloring while you're sitting around, or maybe you're during a lunch break. If you got nothing to do, we can do that. And then we start off with the next month, which also has all the same habit trackers, etc. Only thing that I could say about the habit trackers here is that habits are usually things you do every day. I would like my habits to be checkable from the day that I'm at instead of having to constantly go back and forth like that. But I guess if you just mark it, and you can always just go here and like scribble everything there. If you like that, then that's good. But it's kind of out of sight, out of mind over here at the month thing. If I were to fill out this thing, I would just do that one day, like at the last day of the previous month, and then hope to remember some of that. And then this thing is going to go whoop, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my other things now. And then after a couple of weeks, I'll be like, oh, wait, how are my habits? Oh, I forgot all of that. So maybe that's not great. But it wouldn't work for me is what I'm saying. Maybe it'll work for you. Here we have a nice thick ribbon that will not stay down properly. It folds. I don't like that, but okay, fine. It is nice and thick, and it's a nice neon color. So that's got to be worth something. And moving on to the back. Oh, are each coloring pages different? They are. Oh, that one's very cute. So you can definitely go ahead and color something fun. You don't have to like start with the first one and then move on. I guess you could also just pick one that you like and do that one instead. But then you have to go back and forth at the end of every month to see what you haven't colored yet. Let's see. This is May. We're in June, we're in July, and we go to August 1st, and then we have note spaces, another coloring page, more note spaces, a reading list, there we go. So here's what you could use to write down all the books that you read. I don't think I'll ever read this many books in 1 year. But some people do like to challenge themselves. They could definitely put some more reading lists. So they have 4 pages to fill if they wanted. And more notes pages, a travel bucket list. Okay, that's nice. You can put like where you've been or where you want to go. Only thing is you cannot really see where most countries are because it's just a blank space basically with the shape of the world. You really have to go look where Kazakhstan is and then try to mark that off. It's going to be a little difficult to get the exact location. That's sort of what I'm saying over here. Alright, so we have that. 2 travel bucket lists in case you want to travel the world twice. Notes pages, travel the world in this economy. And more notes pages, lots of notes pages, more notes pages. And then we're at the end with just a disclaimer. Alright, extra page. And no pockets. This one does have no pockets, and that is a little bit annoying if you want to keep some things, but it's more of a life planner type thing, although it does have grade lists, so you can also use it for school. So school life planner, I don't know, it's got a couple of interesting things in there that the others so far have not shown, so that is good, I suppose. A lot of stuff coming off of these planners, like a little bits of paper that get cut and then just kind of stick on there during production. Alright, final one. We have this spiral bound notebook with a sticker sheet, and this one again came with a lot of different designs. These are patches that have been stuck on there. See? Like ironing on patches types of things. They feel like that. And then a couple are just part of the design. I think there's a couple of designs on the back, but these are all just regular printed on design, so they will not be annoying when you put down the book. Like there's something underneath it, other than the rubber band, of course. So that's good. And let's take a look. Oh, we have this thing at the front. No marking on here, so you can't measure anything with it. We have a sticker sheet. Oh, we have 2 sticker sheets. Yes, very cute. 80s, this tape would not work because those holes are too close together. Alright, but it's the thought that counts. So you have a couple of nice stickers, just 2 sheets, but still fun to occasionally throw some random stuff in there. Donuts, They've been using this graphic a lot for a lot of different things. This is the 2026-27 title page, and the calendar is here. All right, we're starting off with the calendar. Personal details on this page. Public holidays. All right, this one has all the public holidays. They do tend to do every agenda slightly differently from the last one. I guess that keeps it interesting. These things are marked off. I guess that is where the holiday is celebrated. You could also use it more like this, like if you just turn it like that and say, okay, I'm in France. What days are holidays for me? Oh, looks as though here 28th, 29th of March is Easter, and then over here we've got, what is this, Labor Day, then we've got it like that. You can do it like that to see when you're off in a certain country, but if you're looking the other way around, it probably wouldn't be quite as useful. Okay, random note page. That does not say that it is a note page, but it is because there's nothing else on here other than a grid dot section. Then we are on to a title page for July. Mood tracker. Bam, look at that, mood tracker. But these are the moods. I guess you would have to like fill them in. That's interesting. So for this month, which is not marked, you can give yourself an emoji for every day. And this thing has a little outline. It almost looks like you're supposed to cut it out, but I guess that's just more of a design element. But there you go, bam, mood tracker. And notes on the other side. A budget plan, we hadn't seen that before. See, they do something different every time. Here you have a couple of coins. I don't know if each coin has a certain value. Like you could say every coin is 10 bucks or something. And then you could like color in how much you want to spend or have to spend that month, and then mark off a coin or something whenever you spend something. If you wanted to make it visible, or just do percentages, so you can like color it in over here. Month balance, savings. We've got income. We've got the date description, amount. You got your fixed expenses, other expenses, and then a summary of what you have spent and what you have received and what the results of that is. We have July, just an overview of the month with goals and priorities underneath. We have the rest of July over here because they couldn't fit it on. Saturday, Sunday get their own page in this case. That's interesting. Don't forget, checklist and important dates. July proper, we have an interesting font here for the dates. You have a little sunshine flower thing at the bottom right. Saturday, Sunday gets vertical columns. Everything else is horizontal. No month marker here with the week number in it. Does say week number top right each time. All right. Then the end of the month, we have a habit tracker, suivi des habitudes. We can go and do July here. Hi. And I guess this is after every month. Alright, with a note section, we have this divider. Once again, divider cannot be moved. And then we start with a mood tracker. Wow. Alright. And then we have this again. Every month get its own budget. An overview. That's great. Then a habit tracker at the end, like that. More note space. It doesn't say it's a note space. This does say it's a note space, so there you go. September, very cute color design here. Mood tracker again. We're having ice cream, apparently, budget plan. So this goes on and on and on. September, peace, October. All right. So it just goes on like this, with occasionally some note space when there is an extra day, or rather when there isn't, because of course you have here the Thursday. No, that's fine actually. It's the same like this every time. How come? Or was I just missing the note pages on the previous ones? No, I think I just overlooked. Okay, well the same amount, blah blah blah, exactly. I keep talking too much. Same amount of note space at the end of each month, it turns out. So this is the same. Let's go on to June. Hang on, June, but where's July? Is there no July tab? This goes to June and then that's it. Okay, so we're actually just not going to do July in this one. We're just going to say, well, you get the first couple of days of something. It doesn't even say what it is. And then you just go into the June habit tracker and you get some notes. And that's it. Interesting. Because most of them include July. But alright, here we have more note spaces. Good day. More of this. And this cute divider thing, translations are in here. Interesting. They did not say at the start to scan the QR code, or did I just dream that up? I think this one didn't say that. Alright, okay. Alright, so translations are in here. They're in the back. Like that. One note page, and that is it. No pockets. Not a single pocket in the entire place. Can I put this down? Oh my god, this thing is super annoying. Alright, there we go. That one will, of course, come off when you start using it. It just kind of got in the way. Alright, so, kind of cute. A little different. Not quite the habit tracking life planner that we had over here, but it had a budget tracker, which is something that I don't think I've seen with any of the others. So that is something new, fresh, different. Let me get them all on the screen here somewhat. Alright, you can kind of see all of them. If I were to fold this back, you can see what that one looks like. Excellent. Okay, great. So that is all of the different types of planners that I've seen so far. And we'll do this again, of course, when the year ends, when new planners arrive. We can go through them. Once again, let me grab the prices. The most expensive one was $3.80. Then you had one for $3 minus 1 cent, and $2.95. But most of them are roughly €1. This one's €2. This one's €1. So not too bad. And I think for a basic planner, you get what you pay for, and in some ways you actually get more because some of them are quite fun. Maybe not as flexible as you would like, but you know, if you're on a budget, then this will definitely do. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below, or a like or dislike, whichever you like. Either way, it helps the channel. If you want to subscribe, it would be even better. I would love that. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.